So, Adpocalypse 2.0, guys. Everybody's pulling their ads again, and here we are in this familiar place. Mm-hmm. It's like when you have like a nightmare, and you're like, "Wow, I've dreamt this before," and it feels familiar in a way.
Yeah,
that's what Adpocalypse 2.0 is. So the genesis of this was this guy Matt What Is, and he made a video that appeared on Reddit. Now, when I opened Reddit this day, it was like number one, and it already had like 50,000 points in like 20 minutes or something crazy. And I was like, oh my God. I knew immediately. I was like, this is not going to be good. It ended up getting like 200,000 points. It's like the number one video on Reddit videos of all time. It's called YouTube is Facilitating the Sexual Exploitation of Children and Being Monetized. 100 is that an 8 or it's 181,000. Now, I'm not going to show the video. I'll play it because the sound is all that's important. The guy honestly shows a lot of like nasty shit.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Well, it's hard because he's showing the content, and it's like basically what I'll give you the breakdown. Let's say you go to a video about gymnastics. Okay. So eventually the sidebar will recommend one with an underage girl in the thumbnail. So once you click that, then YouTube starts recommending more of these videos. Yeah. And then when you click one more, then it's like all underage girls.
But those videos are just kids uploading or families,
totally innocent.
Whatever, like home video stuff. Just regular.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But what's happening is that in the comments, these creepy predators are time-stamping parts, like he showed one, like where their legs are open, or you can see up their pants. I mean, it's truly repulsive shit, dude. Leaving really disgusting comments, doing shit like trying to get them to do challenges where it's just repulsive. Okay, really nasty stuff. So the guy did good work in exposing something that really does need to be addressed within YouTube. And let me just play a snip of his video. I won't put it on the screen, like I said, because it has like kitty porn in it.
I have discovered a wormhole, as I would call it.
Well, it's like upskirts on 8-year-old girls. I don't want to show that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you should, but
into a softcore pedophile ring on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Here, pedophiles are trading social media contacts. They're providing links to actual child porn in YouTube comments. They're trading unlisted videos in secret. And YouTube's algorithm, through some kind of glitch or error in its programming, is actually...
So it's not a glitch or an error. That's where he gets that wrong. The algorithm is almost a victim of its own success. It's so smart. It's so good at what it does that most of the time, the people that make the algorithm don't even know what it's doing. It has one prime objective, which is to keep people on the website as long as possible. So there might be a pattern it discovered of people clicking through these videos and then clicking those ones, and they watch them all. And so the algorithm knows, like, hey, when you click, it doesn't have a moral judgment. It doesn't have a moral compass. It just knows, hey, when you click a video of a little girl doing gymnastics, then the likelihood that you're going to watch this other video of little girls playing whatever, you're going to watch that whole video too. Mm-hmm. And so he's right. When you click, they changed it now, but I did test it at the time, and he's right. It only took a couple clicks, and then all of a sudden, it was all real nasty shit. Disturbing too. Like there was
a lot of times that's just how it works. Like you said, innocently, it just recommends you what you're watching. So it's just logical that it is
logical that the algorithm would do that.
Yeah,
and I do give YouTube the credit of the doubt in that.
I mean, technically, there's nothing wrong with the content itself.
That's right.
It's just home videos that families or kids are uploading. The content itself is fine.
It's these innocent, sweet kids that don't know any better. And so this guy and a lot of people were calling for all these videos to be removed completely. And it's like, well, you're punishing these sweet innocent kids. I mean, you know, But at any rate, what was I talking about? I lost my train of thought.
About the algorithm.
So the algorithm.
You were saying that you got it wrong, that it's not an error.
Right. It's definitely as working as intended. And so it's so hard for you. There's so people, when I see videos like this and the guy is hysteric, he's absolutely hysteric. People just, you got to understand the scope of YouTube. Is it really YouTube's responsibility to, like, the solution now is to close the comments so that these dudes can't, like, timestamp and be creepy and share contacts and all this shit, which is fine. But is it really YouTube's job to kind of, like, police this much? I mean, the parents need to bear some responsibility. If I had like a 8-year-old daughter, I wouldn't let her have total immunity, and I would see what the hell like a lot of these videos had a lot of views.
As an adult, wouldn't you have a look at the comments and remove a couple?
Or be like, dude, you're not posting videos here anymore.
Yeah.
This is fucking weird. But a lot of the videos had way more views than they would ever justifiably have. Like 2 little girls doing the gymnastics challenge. There's just 2 little girls having fun. There's nothing inherently really entertaining that warrant these videos having hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah.
But so they did. They had some of them had upwards of millions of views. It's like, why? What other purposes are to watch this video?
Yeah.
I think a large responsibility is on these parents that just let their kids go upload whatever they want and just think, you gotta, especially the internet. I mean, for Christ's sake, it's the internet. We all know that. Mm-hmm. You need to protect your kids from the freaking internet.
So what was the guy suggesting?
Well, he suggested that we remove it all.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, if you want to have a policy of like, hey, you can't post videos if you're under 12. But again,
crazy.
It's like, why are we doing this to appease just because there's some creepy dudes we're going to like...
No, that's a complete extreme, unnecessary.
So then they had a policy that they would disable comments already, but it wasn't working that good because a lot of the videos he showed, the comments weren't disabled. Some of them were. So now they're disabling comments on a lot of these videos, which is fine. But again, it's just like...
Because I saw him also mentioning like sponsors and making it this whole thing.
So that's when he, in my opinion, took it in a really bad direction.
Yeah.
And I really don't like the direction it took. I'm going to play you a soundbite here. Here's a comment he left on that Reddit thread. He said, I also have evidence that some of the videos are being monetized. This is significant because YouTube got into very deep water 2 years ago over exploitive videos being monetized. This event was dubbed the Adpocalypse. In my video, I show several examples of adverts from big-name brands like Lysol and Glad being played before videos where people are timestamped in the comments section. I have the raw footage of these adverts being played on inappropriate videos, as well as a separate evidence video I'm sending to all news outlets. So he's almost saying, first of all, what is wrong with ads being on these little girls' videos?
Exactly.
The guys commenting don't negate that.
That's my point too. Like, why shouldn't there be ads on those videos?
Right.
It's an innocent video. There's nothing wrong with the video itself.
Exactly.
The fact that some creeps are taking the video and leaving gross comments on it, that's something else.
So he's not explaining himself. He's only saying it's significant because YouTube got into deep water before, so now I'm sending it to all. It's like you have no...
So now I'm starting shit again.
Yeah, just because I can, really. That's kind of the sentiment I'm getting. Just because I can. And it's not the same. Before they had ads generally across YouTube with very little curating. They had ads on like ISIS recruiting videos, and they had ads on all kinds of crazy shit. So in that case, there was a lot more merit.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, people are commenting on videos of little girls, so it's Adpocalypse 2.0. And sadly, a lot of brands pulled out. Tons of brands pulled out. But I just love this guy. He's like, okay, I'm going to screenshot your video on this girl's video. I'm going to screenshot your ad, Disney, on this girl's video, and I'm going to send it to the news outlets. It's like, bro, he's doing exactly what the media companies did in the first Adpocalypse to do as much damage to YouTube as possible without even...
Except this time, it doesn't even have a legitimate reason at all.
Just because he can.
Last time, they somewhat had.
Just because he can. Really. And you brought attention to this problem, and that's great. But the whole brand angle was so unnecessary. Here, I have a bunch of timestamps of him talking about it here. Let me play. By the way, he goes, I'm going to find an ad right now. He clicks through 20 videos. There's nothing. There's no ads. YouTube is not monetizing this content. And the only thing he finds, here, I'll show you guys, because I don't want to show his video.
And there you have it. Adverts.
What he shows is... What? Where'd it go? Oh, why is it doing that? Hang on. Literally, why is it doing that? Okay, here. You see that? Comfy leather shoes, 50% off. It's not even a pre-roll. It's some sidebar weird shit. That's the only ad he found in like 20 clicks in his video.
Oh, just on the page.
Yeah.
It's not
I don't even know what that... It's not even a name brand. It's some weird shit on the sidebar. Literally above the recommended videos on the sidebar. So... Again, I find, because he says he found the ads on all these major brands. He didn't show any evidence of that in the video. All he showed was comfy leather shoes, 50% off. And he shows himself clicking through so many videos, and I'm not going to show it because it's really disgusting, the content that he shows in his video.
Now, I got a question, and I don't even think this, but just to play devil's advocate for a second, do you think maybe he did that because he felt that YouTube wouldn't actually do anything about it or take action unless they're financially threatened by getting advertisers to pull out? Like maybe he just thought that that was the one way that he could actually get them to act on this.
Well, it's possible he thought that, but
that's not a good reason to go on a
his rationale is
crusade,
but it's almost dishonest to take that route, and that is the route he took, because he's saying you are doing something inherently wrong by showing these ads on these videos, and you should know better. Because who's making money from those ads? The little girls who aren't doing anything wrong. What does it matter? The pedophiles aren't making money. If the ads were there or not, it wouldn't change anything. The guys are in the comments. Let's say he didn't find any ads on any of the videos. It wouldn't change the fact that these pedos are in the comments doing what they're doing. It doesn't affect this story at all. It's dishonest way to get attention. It's not. It's just not real. I'm sure that is what he was thinking, Dan. But again, before it was like, oh, ISIS is making money. Yeah. ISIS is making money. Or these weird pedo freaking creepy content guys had ads and they were making money. Who's making money? Who's getting these ads? These little girls. These innocent, sweet kids who are minding their own business.
So do you think YouTube would have taken care of this without that
They
angle?
are constantly.
But I see what you're saying.
So it is something they're constantly working on. Clearly they weren't doing enough.
Right.
Because this guy was able to find this, but I think the story is big not because of the brands. The story is big because of what he found. The whole brand thing.
The thing to me is that you gotta understand that how subtle these things are, and like there's only so much you can expect of YouTube to be right on top of it immediately. I'm sure they were doing a lot of this work already, but maybe not enough. Well, but it takes time to notice something like that. It's a comment on a video.
Sure. Right.
You know, it's a comment with a timestamp. It could look completely innocent at first.
Of millions of videos that are uploaded every day.
There's probably a million comments left on YouTube per second.
The thing is that YouTube, the people up at YouTube that have influence over the company is very small number of inner circle of people. They have triage. They address the critical things that they see as the most urgent. So when this guy makes his video and then it becomes this whole media circus, all of a sudden that becomes the top of their pile of triage because they have to address this issue that now is more urgent than it was before. Doesn't mean it wasn't on their list or maybe they didn't know it was so severe, but they're resources are limited and they're always working towards something.
Right.
So he just moved it to the top of the pile, which is fine. But I think the story would have held on its own completely because people are not talking about, oh, there was ads on it. That's not central to the story at all.
No.
It's not material at all. I mean, he doesn't even bring it up till like 6 minutes in. People are captivated by the fact that
This
the algorithm
phenomenon
is recommending these videos one after the other. That's the thrust of the story.
And to me, it's interesting. I didn't even imagine that was going on with people commenting timestamps of weird moments and this whole...
Yeah, it was he did a great job reporting that.
Yeah.
And I think he did a good public service. And I think YouTube would appreciate even the attention because now they know of a problem and they're addressing it, right? They're doing a lot. Now, the thing is, it's so funny. People are so weird with YouTube. They expect YouTube to be utterly perfect. There's nothing like it in existence. Nothing. A place that you can come post whatever you want, get paid for it.
You don't have to pay anything.
It's totally free. And then they say, these people get so outraged. Like, dude, do you know how complicated that is?
The
Do
thing
you have
also,
any idea?
Like, a lot of times there are legitimate reasons to be upset at YouTube. It's just annoying when someone does it for the wrong reason. It's like you're just delegitimizing everything else, you know?
I love that he's trying simultaneously to be a YouTuber and to destroy YouTube at the same time, you know? It's just, you can only expect so. Do you have any idea YouTube operates beyond country boundaries. They have to deal with copyright law. They have to deal with big media. They have to deal with the legal issues of every different jurisdiction, every different country that YouTube appears on the internet. They all have different laws and regulations. They have to have policies that regulate so many different things. Mm-hmm. That's why I always hear people talking about making YouTube competitors. And in theory, it sounds so simple and it's so great and so easy. Dude, you have no freaking idea how insanely complicated.
It would take an Elon Musk to make something like that.
Yeah,
like
take another multi-billion dollar
It would
company.
take like a really, really unusual.
You need a genius, and you need a genius team.
And lots of
funding. And tons of money. Tons and tons and tons of money. So I do think that YouTube deserves a lot more slack than I guess, because it's so hard to appreciate the magnitude of what they do and how much goes into making this ridiculous platform even possible to begin with, where we all make a living, for Christ's sake. Mm-hmm. You know, they give us 50% of the ads. It's pretty crazy. Actually, 55%.
Yeah, I always thought that was interesting.
55%, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
So let me play an excerpt again from this guy.
And there you have it. Adverts. Comfy leather shoes. Now, this video, there are no timestamps.
And he kind of disproves himself. When he finds the ad, there's no timestamps. There's only 2 comments on it. Mm. So how is YouTube supposed to know that this video shouldn't be monetized? There's no signal.
I still don't think that it shouldn't be monetized. I disagree with that point completely. But, yeah.
Sure, exactly. That even is debatable.
There could be. It was only uploaded a little while ago. But I have multiple examples of big-name brands. We're talking Dodge Ram, Disney in one video.
Show it.
A furniture company in another, where their adverts are appearing on videos where people, users, are time-stamping the girls in compromising positions. One of the other things that I want to point out with these videos...
So we're now liable for the comments? I mean, that's the central point, right? It's like a legal precedent.
Yeah.
Us content creators are now liable for the comments in our videos, and that will get us demonetized? Like, come on. Now, these kids... Now, if you have...
And how do you really have to check each and every comment? Because a comment is just a timestamp,
There's plenty of timestamps all over.
Just looking at it, it looks like anything else.
Yeah, of course.
So... who's going to put so much time into checking each and every comment? It's
this guy assumes that because the algorithm has detected this pattern that a human has as well, or that they even have a way, because there's probably millions of these kinds of videos. So just because the algorithm is kind of putting a thread between them doesn't mean that there's any way for them also to know which ones are the bad ones, which ones need to be demonetized. It doesn't mean that even humans have a way.
Yeah.
Just because the algorithm has a common thread doesn't mean that a human can go in there and look at that stream. It doesn't mean that at all. They don't even necessarily speak to each other. So,
right, and like you said, it's not even really about the videos; it's about the comments.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
and that's its own beast.
So, I would understand if YouTube was like, if you're under 12 or 13, we're not going to monetize your videos. And then when you turn 13, you have to send your parents' consent.
Yeah.
But again, it's like how many regulations? The regulations are mounting up. And who's causing it? YouTubers. Because they want to be outraged and get a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? It's like simultaneous being like, YouTube is fucking creators. And then being like, YouTube, we need more regulations to fuck creators.
Yeah.
So, here, I've got more excerpts.
And if there weren't ads on those videos, those clips would still be there.
That's my whole point. The ads have literally nothing to do with the story.
Mm-hmm.
If Disney pulls their ads, their creeps are still there. What does Disney have to do with someone commenting on a video? Like, give me a freaking break.
Report, and I'm sending that report out to every news outlet that I possibly can, and I'm hoping that people will do the same. To test this out yourself. Go try it yourself. Go open a private window. One more thing that I want to show is now that I've been looking at all of this stuff, once I go back to the main YouTube page, you can now see how, look at how.
By the way, just because it's showing a bunch of kids, here, let me show you. He's like, I went back on the homepage. Dude, just because you're watching a bunch of videos of kids doesn't necessarily mean
that anything's going on.
You could, if you're a kid, you might be watching other kids' videos.
You are watching.
Yeah, exactly. You're not watching my videos. So again, it's like, I don't know. It's so over the top, it's just so ridiculous. So now YouTube has been forced to super overreact.
Yeah.
So now if there's inappropriate comments, they're going to demonetize your video. And there's tons of good channels that are now, their whole channel is, their comments are being turned off and their videos are being demonetized. Like if you have parents and their kids and videos and this whole thing, their channels are being
That's a huge
destroyed.
Genre, by the way.
Huge.
Of legitimate, families making content together. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. And then there's tons of brands pulling out. I just like to be like, why? Oh, because there was inappropriate comments on a video my ad showed on. What? So what are we going to turn off all comments across all the platform? It's just so stupid. The story is good. The story is good. You don't have to make it, he got so hysterical about the brands. It's like, that was so beside the point.
Secondary, yeah.
Wasn't even any dairy. It was zero dairy. You know what I mean?
Here's another thought, though. I mean, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but again, the issue here is the commenters, not the content creators. And so is there anything YouTube can do to address that side of it? I mean, they've created an environment where people feel safe just openly making creepy comments on it. Like, nothing's going to happen to those commenters because they're anonymous and there's no real way to figure out.
Look, it's a comments thread. It's the internet, dude.
What can you do?
You can either be a parent and fucking watch your kids.
Remove comments.
Don't be so fucking lazy and just put your kid in front of YouTube and assume that they're going to raise your kid. Disable the comments.
Right.
Or don't let your kid on. Or erase them. Or just fucking accept that the internet's weird. And when you put an 8-year-old out there, you're going to see weird shit.
That's the biggest. Yeah.
Right? Welcome to the... So basically the alternative is like Scorched Earth, where now YouTube's been forced to disable ads and comments on a ton of video just so they can prevent the times when dudes leave creepy comments on videos and advertisers get angry. For, I don't even know why, because this guy's hysterical. It's the internet, dude. There's all kinds of creepy shit. YouTube is the internet. That's what it is, man. You know, let's just acknowledge that.